Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are undertaking a mission. We're going to take one of the most common, most necessary conversational moments in English, and maybe one of the most bland, and just inject it with, I don't know, about 1,000% more nuance.
It's a good way to put it. We're talking about gratitude. That simple act of saying thank you.
Yes, but more importantly, how we respond to it.
Exactly. I mean, it's universal, right? Gratitude is foundational. But if you're expanding your English vocabulary, or heck, even if you're a native speaker stuck in a rut, you probably lean on one phrase, maybe two.
And we all know what that phrase is.
We do. It's "you're welcome." And it has served us well, but maybe a little too well.
And look, let's be absolutely clear. You're welcome is fine. It's perfectly grammatically correct. It does the job.
It does.
But the sources you shared really highlight this core problem of just overusing it. If you find yourself just defaulting to it every single time, whether you're talking to a new client, your lawyer, your best friend, you're missing this huge opportunity.
A massive opportunity to communicate depth, relationship, professionalism. All of it.
So that's the mission.
That is the mission. I mean,
Okay.
it's completely natural to find a comfortable phrase and just repeat it. Your brain loves that shortcut. It minimizes effort. But today, we want to move you from just, efficiency into mastery.
We're cracking open the vocabulary bank.
We are. We've got 16 high-quality, situation-specific alternatives. Each one is tailored for a specific relationship, a specific context, a precise tone.
And this isn't just about sounding smarter or more native. It's about communicating better.
That's the heart of it.
When you use a varied response, you're signaling so much more than, "I heard your thanks." You're giving insight into the effort required, how you see your relationship. It's a huge communication upgrade. We're getting off autopilot right now.
Okay, so before we dive into the 16 phrases themselves, there's a foundational skill we really have to talk about first.
Yes, this is crucial. Because just reading a list of new phrases is only half the battle, right? If you don't nail the delivery, the sound, the stress, all that new vocabulary is just going to fall flat.
Or worse, be completely misinterpreted.
Sure.
We have to address what I call the non-phonetic challenge of English. And this is probably the single biggest hurdle for anyone learning the language.
The non-phonetic challenge, break that down for us.
Well, unlike languages like, say, Spanish or Italian, where the pronunciation almost always follows the spelling, English is just, well, it's infamous for its inconsistencies. You can look at a new word and have absolutely no reliable clue how it's supposed to sound.
It really does feel like a trap sometimes. Why is it so uncooperative?
It's basically a historical accident. After the Norman conquest, you had this massive influx of French and Latin vocabulary layered right on top of our original Germanic roots.
So different language families all smashed together.
Exactly. So you get words like house, which is Germanic, then parliament, which is French, and maternity from Latin, all being forced to coexist with completely different spelling rules.
Which explains why the F sound can be spelled like AA in rough or fee in phone. It's chaos.
It is chaos. And that chaos means reading alone will not fix your pronunciation. You can stare at a phrase like, don't mention it 1,000 times. But if you pronounce that T in don't too hard or hit the wrong stress, it's just going to sound stilted, awkward.
If the spelling is the map, but the pronunciation is the actual territory.
Beautifully put.
So if the brain struggles with that connection, how do we fix it? What's the best practice for bridging that gap?
The sources all point to one gold standard method: reading a text while you simultaneously listen to its audio version.
So reading a book with the audiobook playing at the same time.
Yes, it's not just a convenience, it's a neurological shortcut. You're engaging your visual pathway reading and your auditory pathway listening at the exact same moment. It creates a much more durable memory.
Okay, let's unpack the neurology there. Why does that dual input work so much better than, say, just listening to something over and over?
Because when you just read, your brain tries to guess the sound based on those flawed rules we talked about. It sees the word subtle, sees the B, and thinks, okay, I should probably try to pronounce that.
Right, and when you just listen, you might hear the sound stow, but you don't necessarily connect it to that bizarre spelling with the silent B.
Precisely. But when your eyes see that silent B, at the exact moment, your ears hear that it's silent.
It clicks. The connection just snaps into place.
Exactly. Your brain learns two things at once. Next time you see the word, you know the B is silent. And next time you hear it, you know how to spell it. It just locks in both sides of the coin.
And that brings us back to these short phrases. It's not just about the words, it's the stress.
Oh, the stress is everything. English is a stress-timed language. The meaning, or in this case, the tone, is carried by which words you emphasize.
Right. Like your example, don't mention it.
If you say don't mention it with a hard stress on don't, it sounds aggressive, like a warning.
Like you're telling someone off.
Whereas the correct casual delivery is much softer, smoother, don't mention it. The lack of hard stress is what makes it sound easy and polite. It can completely change sincerity into sarcasm if you get it wrong.
So mastering the sound and stress is the key. Otherwise, a phrase like, that's all right, could accidentally sound really reluctant instead of warm.
That's the danger.
Okay, that is a brilliant foundation. So let's get into the phrases themselves. We're starting with the 12 options for casual day-to-day conversation. All right, so we're starting in the most common zone: casual, informal, how you talk to your friends, your family.
And these 12 phrases are really flexible. The meaning is so often dictated by the context and your relationship with the person.
We're going to start with the most basic variations on welcome and then move into some more expressive stuff.
Sounds good. Hashtag tag tag KRAI. Variations on welcome and minimalist responses.
Okay, number 1. This is really just a slight upgrade on the default. It's you're very welcome.
And that one little adverb, very, does a surprising amount of work, doesn't it?
It really does.
It's not just being more polite. It's an acknowledgement that you've really heard and considered the thanks you just received. If someone gives you really heartfelt thanks for something that took time, you're very welcome. Confirms that you're taking their gratitude seriously.
And the sources pointed out a regional flavor to this one. It's quite British.
It is, yeah. It has a slightly more formal, measured feel
Yeah.
that's common in some British speech.
Mm-hmm.
You'll hear it in America, of course, but it's not the go-to. American English tends to prefer stripping things down.
So if I help a friend move all day and they say, I really, really appreciate this, saying you're very welcome matches their level of sincerity.
Perfectly. You're not minimizing anything. You're maximizing the acceptance of their thanks.
Okay, moving to number 2. And this one has really defined a generation, especially in America. No problem.
Ah, yes. The phrase of ease and utility. This one suggests that whatever you did required very little effort. Thanks for lending me your pen. No problem. It implies there was no obstacle, no imposition at all.
But, and this is huge, but we have to talk about the caveat here. The sources flagged a massive generational divide with no problem.
A huge one. You have to use this with caution, especially with anyone from an older generation or in more traditional service settings. Many, many older people actively dislike this phrase.
Why? What's the objection? The intent seems friendly.
It's rooted in sort of traditional politeness rituals. The thinking is that by saying no problem, you're actually introducing the idea that it could have been a problem.
Oh, I see. So the traditionalist hears, I considered your request, and I've decided it does not qualify as a problem.
That's the perfect way to frame it.
Yeah.
It sounds like you ran a little internal quality check. They would much rather hear a phrase that denies the existence of any effort in the first place, like, my pleasure.
So for a learner, this is crucial. You have to know the social baggage that comes with the phrase, not just the phrase itself.
That's the whole game right there.
All right, and number 3 in this minimalist group is just, sure.
Yep. Pure, casual, and very, very American as a response to thanks. It's basically just a verbal nod. Thanks. Sure.
It can feel a little abrupt, though, can it?
It can, which is why it's often paired with our last phrase. You'll hear, sure, no problem, all the time.
So it's a 1-2 punch.
Exactly. It's super efficient. You confirm with sure, and then you immediately dismiss any inconvenience with no problem. Fast and friendly. Hashtag E. Self-deprecating and effortless responses. Mostly British.
Okay, let's shift gears into a group of phrases that are all about diminishing your own effort, the effort minimizers. And these tend to have a very British flavor.
A lot of self-deprecation in this group, yes.
Starting with number 4, don't mention it.
Classic British politeness. This basically translates to, what I did was so trivial that you shouldn't even waste your breath thanking me for it.
Right. The example was bringing a dessert to a dinner party. That's not trivial. It takes time, effort, money.
Of course. But saying don't mention it is a social ritual. You're minimizing the practical effort to maximize the sincerity of the gesture. It's a little white lie to keep things smooth.
Okay, so if that's the social denial, number 5 is more about the logistical reality. It was nothing.
This one is more direct. It communicates that the action literally required no extra effort, and you often give a little justification.
Like picking up a friend's kids from school.
Exactly. Thanks so much for getting the kids. Oh, it was nothing. I was picking mine up anyway. That justification, I was already there, is key. It completely removes any sense of obligation from the other person.
And then we get to the most powerful one in this group, number 6, the one for really serious situations. It was the least I could do.
This one is heartfelt. It's for serious acts of kindness, not for small favors. Visiting someone in the hospital, helping them through a crisis.
So when you say this, you're communicating that the action you took, no matter how big, was the absolute minimum required by your friendship or your sense of duty.
Precisely. It communicates profound commitment. And the danger is misusing it. If you say this after grabbing your colleague a coffee, you're going to sound intensely dramatic.
Or sarcastic.
Or sarcastic. This one has to be reserved for moments that really carry that emotional weight. Hashtag, tag, text, tag, C, context, tone, and reciprocity.
Okay, on to a group where the meaning is all about the context and especially the tone of your voice. Let's start with number 7, which might be the most tone-dependent of all. That's all right.
Oh, intonation is everything with this one. The words themselves are neutral. I accept your thanks, we're square. But how you say it can make it warm or very cold.
Let's do the example from the source again, the station pickup.
Okay, version 1, warm and friendly. Thank you for picking me up. That's all right, said with a smile, a rising, falling intonation. It's genuinely sincere.
And version 2.
Version 2, a bit reluctant. Thank you for picking me up. That's all right. Delivered more flatly, maybe a little pause.
And suddenly it sounds like it was a huge inconvenience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The words are identical, but the music is completely different. And you've communicated two opposite feelings, a real trap for learners if they don't master the intonation.
Moving on to number 8, a much friendlier one. No worries.
Very casual, very relaxed. This one had become incredibly popular. It suggests the thing you did caused zero stress or anxiety for you.
It seems like a great way to diffuse a situation where the other person might feel a bit awkward.
Yes, like the car alarm example. Hey, thanks for letting me know my car alarm was blaring. No worries, I figured you'd want to know.
Yeah.
You're reassuring them that it didn't bother you, that your action was low-key and helpful.
Number 9 is a fascinating one because you respond to thank you with another thank you.
Right. Thank you or no thank you. This is all about shifting the emphasis. You're basically flipping the script and suggesting that they are the one who deserves thanks.
So if someone thanks me for coming to their party,
You might say, no, thank you for inviting me. You're emphasizing that the real gift was the invitation. It's a really gracious, humble move that rebalances the conversation.
I like that. Okay, number 10 is one that really speaks to the depth of a relationship. I know you'd do the same for me.
This is one you only use with people you know and trust really well. It's built on reciprocity. It says, this act of kindness wasn't a one-off. It's just part of our unspoken agreement to have each other's backs.
The sources called it even Stevens.
That's a perfect way to put it. It means we're on equal footing. Thanks for looking after my dog. Hey, I know you'd do the same for me. It reinforces that bond of mutual reliance.
But you have to be careful with this one, right? You wouldn't say this to your boss, for instance.
Oh, absolutely not. That would sound incredibly presumptuous. You'd be implying an equality in the relationship that just isn't there. This is for peers and close friends only.
A crucial distinction. Okay, number 11 is a very generous, forward-looking one. Anytime.
Simple, warm, and effective. It says you were happy to help this time, and you're essentially on standby to help again in the future. It's an open invitation.
It turns a one-time transaction into an ongoing offer of support.
It does. It's very approachable. Hashtag tag, 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 D. The pleasure family. Formal to casual.
And we wrap up the casual section with number 12, which is really a whole family of phrases that scale from formal to super casual. The pleasure family.
A great example of how you can modify a phrase for different situations.
Let's start at the top, the most formal. The pleasure is mine.
Very deferential. This suggests that you, the helper, actually gained more from the interaction than the person you helped. It creates a sense of respectful distance.
And that gets shortened down to something we hear all the time now in customer service.
To my pleasure.
Okay.
Yes, this has become the standard in high-end service industries. It's all about elevating the interaction. Your welcome is transactional. My pleasure is emotional. It suggests the server is intrinsically motivated to help you.
So it makes the service feel more genuine, less like an obligation.
That's the psychological goal, yes.
And then you can strip it all the way down to a single word.
Just pleasure. Clipped, quick, efficient, like the example of taking in a neighbor's package. Thanks for getting that. Pleasure. It's low effort, but still positive. Using the full my pleasure in that tiny situation would just sound over the top.
Wow, that's 12 ways to handle just casual conversation. It really shows how much data we pack into these tiny phrases.
Okay, so now we shift gears completely. We're moving into situations where the stakes are higher. Professional, legal, business settings.
Right. This is where ambiguity is a bad thing. You need clarity.
You need clarity and you need intentionality. These final four phrases are all about maintaining that professional polish. Hashtag A. Highly formal and regional responses.
We're starting with one that is very British, very old-fashioned, but still pops up. Number one in this section, much obliged.
It does feel like it's from another era, doesn't it? The full version is, I'm very much obliged to you. The word obliged implies a real sense of indebtedness. It's much stronger than a simple thank you.
So how does a phrase like that even survive today?
In little pockets, and sometimes in places you wouldn't expect. The anecdote in the sources was just perfect for this.
Oh, the shoe shop story. Yes, tell that again. The details really make it stick.
So the person had just bought a pair of shoes, and they remembered they had a gel bottom, which is such a great specific detail. They said thank you, and the seller, with what was described as an amazing Cockney accent, just replied, much obliged.
It's the contrast, a modern, gel-soled shoe and this old-world phrase.
Exactly. It just stood out. It conveyed this deep, almost formal gratitude that a simple cheers wouldn't have. It shows it still has power in the right context.
Okay, number two, a more formal take on our original phrase, you're most welcome.
This is a definite step up from you're very welcome. It's formal, a little bit posh perhaps, and you have to be careful with it. The sources warned not to use it willy-nilly.
Meaning, not without careful thought. Why is this one so sensitive?
Because it carries so much formal weight that if you use it in a casual setting, it sounds bizarre. It can sound sarcastic or like you're trying to create a strange distance with a friend.
So you save it for serious, professional interactions, like with a lawyer.
Exactly. You're thanking your solicitor for sending over complex legal documents. Replying, "You're most welcome," perfectly matches the formal, serious tone of that interaction. It maintains the professional boundary. Hashtag B business and client-focused responses.
Now we are fully in the world of commerce. Phrases for clients and customers. Number three is, we appreciate your business custom.
This one is laser-focused on the commercial relationship. It's all about making the client feel valued for their choice to spend money with you.
And we have to get the distinction right here between business and custom. They're not interchangeable.
Not at all. And getting it wrong can make you sound a bit off. Custom is for an individual customer, for their patronage. A local shopkeeper might say, "We appreciate your custom."
And business is for?
Business is for B2B, a business-to-business client. You're thanking a large corporation for signing a major contract. You say, "We appreciate your business."
So what happens if I say, we appreciate your business to someone just buying a coffee?
It just sounds weirdly corporate and impersonal. And if you do the reverse and thank a huge firm for their custom, you're trivializing a massive corporate partnership down to a single shopping trip. The language has to match the scale.
The we is also important there, isn't it? It sounds like the whole company speaking.
It does. It reinforces that professional structure.
And finally, number four, a clean, modern, professional standard. I'm happy to help.
This is a cornerstone of modern customer service. It communicates capability, a positive attitude, and willingness. It's not about minimizing effort. It's about maximizing a positive, service-oriented feeling.
It's very clear. It removes any doubt about your motivation.
It's clean, direct, professional. Thanks for bringing those files up from the archive. I'm happy to help. It tells your colleague that you did it with proactive willingness, not reluctant obligation. That builds trust.
So there we have it. 16 ways to respond to gratitude, all the way from a casual sure to a formal much obliged.
We've really covered the whole spectrum, from a self-deprecating "it was nothing" between friends to a very precise "we appreciate your business" with a client. The main takeaway has to be that context is everything.
It is. Expanding your vocabulary is just the first step.
Right. The real mastery is matching the phrase to the relationship, to the environment, to the tone that's required in that exact moment.
And it's not about memorizing 16 flashcards. It's about knowing which 3 are right for your boss, which 5 you can use with your family, and knowing that the wrong choice. It can really send the wrong signal. Arrogance, sarcasm, awkwardness.
Context is the supreme ruler of conversation. I mean, we've shown that this incredibly basic exchange responding to thank you is packed with regional differences, generational conflict, and professional weight. You now have the tools to be so much more precise.
You've unlocked a secret library of options.
You really have.
It is genuinely astounding that such a simple, reflexive moment in conversation could hide so much detail, which which brings us to our final thought for you, the learner. If responding to thank you has 16 nuanced, situation dependent alternatives hiding in plain sight, just think about how many other common exchanges you're doing on autopilot. Think about that obligatory check in, how are you? Imagine the secret library of responses that phrase holds, depending on if you're talking to your doctor, a stranger at the bus stop, or your closest friend. That's the next deep dive for you to start exploring.